it's Kyra from KyraWilliamsFitness.com, and you know, it has been a long journey since I started. I started losing weight like 20 years ago, and I've been a personal trainer for almost 14 years, which is really what prompted me to want to talk about this. But before I get into the ins and outs of my personal fitness journey and the 14 really important lessons that I'm going to share with you guys, I want to let you know that mentorship spots are finally open. So this is something that I've been wanting to offer for a really long time, but quite honestly, I just didn't have the guts to offer this. I've always worked with people in a sort of one-on-one kind of setting through Commit to Fit, where we all start at the same time and we wrap up at the same time, and we utilize like Facebook groups. But in this mentorship program, this is going to be something completely unlike anything I've ever offered before, because you're going to have the opportunity, you and I are going to have the, I shouldn't say you, because we are going to have the opportunity to text with each other. And so I'm going to utilize this app called Voxer, which is literally like texting. It's not like texting, it is texting. And we're going to do Zoom calls every week, and every single thing that we do is completely tailored to you and your goals and your wants and your needs. So when you start, we're going to look at everything that you've got going on and what you want to achieve, and then we're going to put together a plan that's going to work for you. So workouts and nutrition and just like lifestyle stuff, it's like, hey, this is when you should go to the grocery store. And then I check in with you like, hey, how is the grocery store? What all did you get? And hey, this is what you should start eating for breakfast. And then I text you like, hey, how was that breakfast? And you're like, oh man, I just didn't have time to make eggs. It's like, okay, cool. Tomorrow we're going to do it again. But instead of making eggs, I just want you to make a protein shake, like little stuff like that. It's basically like if your best friend was a nutrition coach and personal trainer and life coach and, was your best friend. So anyway, this is going to be through application only. I'm only going to max have 3 women join. I'm kind of on the fence about that, to be honest. So 1 or 2, maybe 3 openings for this. Anyway, so you can find out about that at KyraWilliamsFitness.com. And so with that said, and those opportunities are only going to be open through the end of March, March 2024. And but if they get full, then sorry, you'll have to wait. Each spot will be open. You and I will be. It's a 3-month commitment, with the possibility to continue on based on whether or not we feel like this is working. So it's application only because we are going to be working so closely together. I want to make sure that we vibe and we're on the same page. That's really important. So you need to trust me, and we need to enjoy working together. So KyraWilliamsFitness.com for more info about that. So with that said, a little bit about my journey. I'm going to go over this briefly because I really want to get into the 14 points. I like to use my channel as a way to teach, but it's always of value to learn where I came from, where your teacher came from. So back when I was in my early 20s, I was typical college kid. I ate terrible, and I just got to a point where like I absolutely hated how I looked and how I felt. I'm pretty vain. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing wrong with that. I want to look good. And I did not like how I looked. I had cellulite on my thighs. The inseams of my jeans busted open on a pretty regular basis, and it was really embarrassing. And I didn't want to go up a jean size. I was totally in denial. And so I was like, all right, well, I guess I gotta lose weight. So I started doing cardio. Lots and lots of cardio every day, like at least an hour. I started counting my calories. I made sure that I only ate 1,000 calories a day, which is crazy. But it worked. I was also in my early 20s, so just about anything works when you're in your early 20s. And I lost 20 pounds. So I got down from about like 165 to about 145. I hung out there for years. I just kept doing cardio. I didn't stay on the 1,000 calories. I don't remember how many calories I ate, but I know I restricted my calories. I did that for many years. I started getting into running. I started taking spin classes. Never weight training because that's scary. I didn't know what I was doing. And so finally, I was living down here in Florida. I was in my late 20s, and I was like, I'm tired of running all the time. I was getting plantar fasciitis all the time. It was hot outside, and so I joined a gym, and that's when I really started taking spin. But then I saw the trainers, and I started like learning and getting really interested in strength training. So I hired a trainer, and I was lucky. He gave me a really great discount and made it possible for me to work with him because I mean, personal training is not cheap. I know, I'm a trainer. So anyway, hired him. Started getting results, and he was always like, you have to pay attention to your nutrition if you want to continue to like get results. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, I finally ended up reading Toscarino's book, The Eat Clean Diet. Huge props. I mean, literally life-changing. But basically the premise is balancing your blood sugar. And every time I ate protein. What I tell you guys to do to this day. Protein, balance your blood sugar. And I ended up losing another 10 pounds. And I like didn't think that I could, like, as much as I worked out, I was like, I can't lose any more weight. And I did. I ended up losing 10 more pounds. And right around that time I was living in Boston again. And I was like, oh, I really want to become a personal trainer. Like, I can't believe like this is my body. I love this so much. I really want to like share this with everybody else. So, I became a personal trainer. I also was like, what do I do with this body? My goodness. So I signed up and competed. I did a bikini competition, and not for me. So not for me. Walking across, like, it's cool if that's your thing, but walking across the stage and having somebody judge my appearance, yeah, totally made me insecure, and totally like that just messed with me. I wouldn't do it now for the same exact reason. I just can't fathom like being judged on my appearance. And so anyhow, and that also like, you know, the diet is so strict because there's certain things that you have to do to manipulate your body. And I couldn't separate what I was doing like for that in that moment, like temporarily. Like, you can't have bananas anymore because, you know, that's just too many carbs in one sitting. And the way that we need to change your body and manipulate your body so that you're like 15% body fat or less, you know, you can't have that. And so it really messed up my relationship with food. And I dealt with that. I still deal with that. But like, honestly, I'm not unhappy about that as a whole because it was a huge challenge for me, and it made me learn and it made me grow. And I can bring that with me as I work with other clients. So I'm really not mad about that in the end. But yeah, I hated bikini competitions. And so I had like kind of gotten into Olympic weightlifting anyway. So I joined CrossFit, and I got really competitive with CrossFit, and I got really competitive with Olympic weightlifting. And then I just wasn't really competitive anymore. Like, I just kind of like burned myself out on it. So that leads me to where we are right now. And I'll probably start doing Olympic weightlifting again, like sometime this year, just because I think it's fun. I don't know that I'll compete in it, but I lift weights. Like, I back squat, I deadlift, I bench press. I do, you know, all of the accessory work for that, with the goal in mind of just like, I want to look good and I want to feel good. And I do a lot of yoga, and like I go to CrossFit sometimes for my cardio and for socialization. And I just I just want to feel good. I want to look good. And I want to be able to dedicate most of my time and energy to doing other things. So, with that said, 14 years as a personal trainer. So, I have 14 lessons that I want to share with you. For one, when you set a goal, I'm looking over here on my notes because it's a lot of lessons. So when you set a goal, identify why you want what you want. Because otherwise you're just kind of like, yeah, I want to lose weight. But like if you don't really have a reason why, then on days where you're like tempted, you're like, oh, I really want to eat all these muffins. You can go back like, no, nope, nope, nope. Because I remember when I put my pants on, I bust the inseam in my jeans, and that makes me feel really, really bad about myself. That's your why. You got to have something that you can connect back to, because when things are hard, it's going to be hard to stick to your guns. So you need to understand why you want the things that you want, because it's going to help you stay motivated on days where you're just not feeling it. The second one, ask for help. When I first started on this journey, I asked my mom for help. Mom, how do you lose weight? I hired a personal trainer to help me with strength training. I hired a coach to help me with my nutrition for bikini competitions. I have a coach now who helps write my strength programming. Having someone there that can kind of like take care of all that stuff for you. Like, I don't write my own workouts. It just makes things easier for you. And then not only that, but you've got support, you've got feedback. Having that guidance is just, I don't care who you are. If you want to make this happen, then having support and having guidance is going to help you, because going back to what I said before, there are going to be days that you're not going to want to. But when you have that person that's checking in on you, they're like, hey, how did that workout go? Or, hey, I have this workout for you. You're going to be more likely to stick with it. Number 3, do the things that you enjoy. Yes, I do think that even if you don't like lifting weights, on some level, you do need to strength train, because it's the only way that you're going to maintain muscle mass, because after like we're in our 20s, we start losing our muscle mass. So yes, it is important. But ultimately, you do the thing that you enjoy. And, for a really long time, like I was really into running. And so I started running, and then I wanted to kind of strength train because I wanted to become a better runner. And then I love CrossFit. And so I would do certain things like, EMOMs on a bike, while I didn't love the bike, but it was going to help me ultimately get better at CrossFit. But like, do the things that you enjoy, because you're much more likely to actually follow through with them if you enjoy them. And there's so many different things to choose from, so don't do something that you hate just because you heard that's the best thing to do. Do the things that you love, because honestly, just like getting in the regular workouts is the most important thing, right? Also, also enjoy what you eat. Make sure that you always continue to eat the things that you love, because if you're just like on a diet and you're just like, I can't eat that, I can't eat that, I can't eat that, it's so restrictive. You're gonna get sick of it, and you're not gonna stick to it long term. So, I love cookies. Well, I had a cookie today. Yesterday, I had half a cookie. Tomorrow, I'll have a half a cookie or a whole cookie. I don't know. But I have something that I love every single day, because if I take it out of my diet entirely, then I'm just going to be like, yeah, I'm not allowed to have cookies. This is stupid. And then I'm going to quit doing what I'm doing. So I'm probably better off just having a cookie a day, or rather than just being like, I can't have any cookies, and then the very next day, like completely overdo it on the cookies. Like, that's silly. So just a little bit of something that you love every single day. And like, you don't have to eat gross food. Like, the thought of having like fish and asparagus every night for dinner, or like egg whites and broccoli, like, no, I want to eat food that I like. Like, I don't want a salad every day for lunch. So today I had roasted butternut squash and mushrooms and red peppers with my ground turkey and sweet potato, and it was delicious. Eat foods that you love. Don't force feed yourself stuff you don't like just because you heard it's good for you. And if you're just like, oh, well, I think I have to eat, fish and asparagus, to hire me. I will help you. Seriously. That's ridiculous. You should be able to eat things that you like. Um, your relationship with food is really important. This is number 5. Your relationship with food is important. If you are working with someone or you are just trying to white knuckle your way through things, you could just be screwing up your relationship with food. This is not going to be sustainable short term or long term. You're white knuckling things like that's just awful. And it's going to only be short lived. But when you focus on your relationship with food and you make that a priority alongside healthy eating, which you can do both at the same time, that's the ultimate win right there. Because your relationship with food is important. So just counting macros, like, it's great. It's the means to getting the physique you want, sure, but there needs to be more substance to it. And that is something, like, when you work with me, we're going to be talking about, like, why did you eat the things that you ate and why aren't you eating other things? I'm going to ask you those questions. We're going to look at this stuff, period. Again, number 6, this is not a sprint. I have been doing this for 20 years, right? 20 years. I'm going to be doing it for another, I'm 42, so another hopefully 6 more decades. And this is something, like, we're not just like, life is going to change a lot over the next 60 years for me. So I need to figure out a way that I can continue to eat healthy and continue to work out and continue to maintain a healthy relationship with food, all the while during these, like, life changes. And we always have our health. Now, our health might be good, our health might be bad. We always have blood pressure. Our blood pressure might be good, our blood pressure might be bad, but we always have it. So, and we're always going to eat. Whether you eat good stuff or you eat bad stuff, you're always going to have this in your life. So you may as well figure out a way to make it good for where you at right now. And then when your life changes again, make it good for that. And then when your life changes again, make it good for that. You always have to be kind of pivoting. You always have to be ready to be flexible. This is not a sprint. This is lifestyle. Number 7, protein. Protein is your best friend. Pairing protein with every single meal is going to help you balance your blood sugar. That's going to help make it possible for you to lose fat, and it's going to help keep cravings at bay. It's going to keep you fuller longer. Protein is your best friend. So a gram per pound that you weigh at least every day. Cool? Lifting weights. Lifting weights is the fountain of youth, because after we're in our mid-20s, our muscle mass starts to decline, which that's going to make us less sensitive to insulin. So it's going to make fat gain a lot easier. It's going to losing fat. What else? Or losing muscle atrophy. It's going to make you weaker. It's going to make your bones weaker. Lift weights. It helps balance your hormones. It helps give those calories somewhere to go. So that way you can, like, eat more food and it's doing something. It's not just accumulating as fat, it accumulates as muscle. So lift weights. Poor quality food. This is number 9. Poor quality food will wreck your digestion, cause inflammation. So, like, if you're someone who loves macros, the quality of your food is important too. This processed food, it's so addictive and it's so calorically dense and it is so lacking in micronutrients. The food industry is just, like, trying to market to you to get you to buy this junk and just spend your money on it. And then you end up sick, and then you end up in the hospital, and then you end up giving them more of your money because you're you're not well and you have cancer, and just don't go down this path. The quality of your food is so, so, so important. You're going to feel so much better. You're going to feel so much happier if you care about the quality of your food and prioritize eating the high quality stuff. Sleep is also crucial to everything. Your mood, your energy, your hormones, your immunity, your digestion, that all comes down to sleep. So sleep, important, super important. That's number 10. Number 11 is hydration is also important. Yes. People don't really need like a gallon a day. Just keep your urine light yellow. It'll keep you energized. It'll keep you motivated. It'll keep you in good spirits. It keeps you moving. And it just helps. It helps your body process all that food. It helps your body detoxify itself. Drink water. Use your calories wisely. This is number 11. Oh, sorry. This is number 12. Think of it like a budget, right? So let's say you make $2,000 a month, and 1,000 of it has to go to rent. That leaves you with $1,000 a month. But then you've got like your car, you've got to pay for gas, you've got to pay for your utilities, you have to pay for all this other stuff with your $1,000. But if you go and you spend on like clothes and shoes, which is like obviously what we all want to do, then how do you pay for your electricity? And how do you pay for your internet and all that stuff that you like have to pay for? So think about your calories like a budget. So if you have 2,000 calories a day that you're consuming, and you spend 1,000 of them on a glass of wine and a slice of cake, now you're only getting 1,000 calories a day worth of the good, healthy micronutrients. And also by taking 1,000 calories and putting it towards wine and cake, now you're only eating 1,000 calories of, the eggs and the broccoli and the spinach and the chicken and the sweet potatoes and all of these other things that are actually going to make you full. So you're going to be really hungry if you take that 1,000 and put it towards wine and cake, which don't get me wrong, that sounds like a great time, but you're not going to like how that feels. So think of your calories like a budget. Use them wisely, especially if you're in a deficit, because your body is already in an underfed state and you're risking not getting all of the micronutrients that you need. So use your calories wisely. I'm not saying don't eat wine and cake. You totally should. I love wine and cake. But we want to use most of them on that good stuff so you can feel good and you can really look good. Number 13, slow down. Breathe. Be present. Allow your nervous system to chill, because so much of your life is spent in this fight or flight, stress kind of mode. So we don't ever allow ourselves to have that time to do that rest and digest. And it's so important. This is going to help you make better decisions. It's going to help you live in alignment with your goals. And it's also going to help with your body's processes like your metabolism and your digestion and your immunity and your hormones. So calm it down, meditate, journal, breathe, just be present. And then the last one is that everything is connected. And this is my whole coaching premise. You can't have terrible thoughts and expect to have like a good workout and then expect to get good results. You can't have a poor relationship with food and try and be restrictive, but then also expect to feel good and get good results. But then at the same time, like if you've got really great thoughts, you've got a good relationship with food, you've got your good workouts, and you're probably going to get good results. Like everything is connected. This is all holistic. Your mind, your hormones, your digestion, your musculoskeletal system, like all of this stuff is connected. And when you work with me, you can expect to work with someone who understands how connected it all is. So like If you have a really stressful, bad week, then you know what? Your PMS week is probably going to be a little bit harder than it was last month when you didn't have a really stressful week prior or leading into it. Or if you have been super stressed out one week, then the next week, your eating is probably going to be off, and you have to recognize that it has something to do with your external stress. So we approach it in a very, very holistic manner. And if you just try and say it's like one little thing in a vacuum, I think you're doing yourself a huge disservice there. Anyway, so those are my 14 tips. I hope you enjoyed this, and please let me know what you want to hear in the future from me, and I'll record another video, record another podcast, make another blog post. Anyway, and check out the mentorship program, KyraWilliamsFitness.com. Thanks for watching.